Hi, welcome to Tested by Pixel Movers again. The last video you saw of ours was our unboxing of the GT-190 from Huion. Eventually I've got around to doing the review for this particular model. I've had a bit of a play around with it first. I thought it'd better for me to get a few good weeks down actually having a go with this, seeing what it was like, how it performed, which I think I have done, and I'm pretty happy with it, I can say from the outset. Like most tablets out there, even Wacom tablets, there are glitches there with drivers. There are things that are not quite right on these particular products. But you're looking at this particular tablet retailing for £399. It's a good budget tablet. I'll say that from the outset. Yeah. But what I'll do is I'll show you how it all works. Obviously, I've got this set up at the moment. I've got a Dell monitor here, which is my main monitor. I've got this set up next to it on an Ergotron arm. If you can get an arm, for one of these, it's brilliant, because at least what you can do when it's on an arm is move it around to wherever you need to use it, so I can put it exactly where I want it. So I can have it lower down here. Obviously I won't do that here. I'll bring it as close to the screen, the camera, as I can do, so you can see there. So I can move this to wherever I want in front of my main monitor, and it's great to be able to just use it like that. I've got this set up with the GT-190 running the DVI display, so the DVI and the graphics card, and the Dell is running VGA, mainly so I could get the best kind of quality out on this. I mean, I get decent quality through VGA anyway on the other one, so it's not too bad. But yeah, this is set up, like I said, on the Ergotron arm, just set up to use very naturally, like I say. And if I bring this back to life, and the first thing we'll do on here is make sure that the drivers are running. Now, this is one thing that I find with this particular model, is that you have to, on a restart of your machine, unplug the USB and plug it back in again. But if it's a driver glitch, or whether it's just something that you have to do, it's something natural with the Huion products. I'm not sure. I've sent them a message regarding it, and we'll see what they come back with. But I did a restart of my machine this morning, and every time I do a restart, I basically have to unplug the USB, plug it back in again, and the driver finds the driver again. So that's the driver up and running there. This is the latest driver from Huion, which I only got a couple of days ago. The date today is the 25th. I probably got it on about the 23rd. It's a beta driver, but this allows me to run two monitors on independent resolutions, which you couldn't do before on this particular monitor with the previous driver. But this driver will allow you to run two monitors at separate resolutions, and you just specify in here which monitor that you're using for the drawing. So you could set it in your screen settings here to the Dell monitor, and that would mean wherever I put my cursor here on this screen, where I put the pen on the screen, sorry, the mouse cursor will appear mapped on the Dell monitor. Or you can switch this to using to draw on here, switch it to the Huion GT-190, and that will then allow you to draw on here. So we'll just make sure we've got this all set up okay. That's alright, and I'll open Mischief, which I think is a lovely program, which I think I mentioned before in some of my reviews. And there you go, it's found it straight away then, so you can just start sketching away. and it's got very good responsiveness. And I actually think this new driver they brought out makes the actual GT-190 work a lot better. It seems to wake up a lot better. I said before with the drivers, the pen goes to sleep. It's a rechargeable pen, so you get a cable for this pen that plugs into the end, plugs into your USB port on the computer, and that charges the pen up. It has a battery inside it. I don't mind it. I think it adds a nice little bit of weight to the pen as well, which is good. And the battery lasts a long time. I mean, I've charged this up once since I got this tablet, which is probably 2 months ago, and this hasn't run out yet. So you get a lot of usage out of the pen on a single charge. The pen goes to sleep, and then clicking the nib on the end will wake up the pen, and then you can just draw away to your heart's content, basically. And it just feels very, very fluid drawing on this screen. I mean, it is a very shiny screen. It doesn't feel like you're drawing on paper. It's a little bit slick, but you do get used to it. It's like anything else with these tablets. You get used to how they draw, how the pen reacts to the surface, and you just adjust accordingly. But there's absolutely no lag at all in this. It's just a really nice feel. There are no express keys, so you've got down here, you've got a menu button, you've got your up and down arrows for changing your menu options, selecting things like your brightness, your contrast, that kind of thing. And that's all set up here. You've got an auto set up, you've also got your on off button there. It's quite basic in its setup, like I said, no express keys down the side or anything like you would get on some of the Wacom tablets. But it just does feel very nice to draw with. And if you've got a keyboard handy underneath, which I have down here, I've got a keyboard down here, I can easily use the keys on the keyboard to reduce the thickness of the lines. So I've got a thinner line there that I can use. Press on harder, you get a thicker line. So the pressure sensitivity is really good. And it's also, you say, adjustable through your line width settings within the programs that you're using themselves anyway. And if I clear that, and it is just really extremely responsive. There's just no lag at all. It's just a really nice nice tablet to draw, really, especially in this programming. There are, in some programs you do get glitches within the programs themselves. Photoshop is renowned for giving jittery lines, even on Wacom tablets. Not sure why that is. I've looked into it online. Not sure why that particular program does that. It must be something inherent with the program. A lot of other programs, especially Mischief, Manga Studio, they have options in there to smooth out your lines automatically anyway. But I've not really come across anything major that would stop me from, say, buying one of these. Mainly down to the price. The price of one of these compared to a Wacom tablet is a lot cheaper for a similar sized tablet. I think the pressure sensitivity is better on this than it is on a Wacom Cintiq. I think one of the biggest things and the pluses for Huion is their customer support. They have a Facebook page where you can message them. I literally went on the other night and said I was getting really fed up with not being able to have two independent monitors running at independent resolutions. Told Huion about that, and within a couple of hours I had a message back saying we're releasing new drivers. There's new drivers coming out in a couple of days, and then I basically got a message through saying, right, the drivers are available, here's where you download them. Put the drivers on, it worked, and the customer service for them is just absolutely superb. For Huion, which excuse me, is a really good plus for any tablet user. If you've got any problems at all using the tablet, having good customer support there is second to none, really, as well. So that's in Mischief. We'll close that down. No change, save changes, and we'll now have a look at let's have a look on here. It's a Photoshop. I'd say that one of the things about this monitor that is a bit of a downside is the viewing angle. It has a very shallow viewing angle. You might be able to see that on the actual where the Photoshop logo is coming up on there. When you're looking from the side, it looks a bit washed out. You don't get even colour throughout if you're looking from a side on. You've got to be really straight on looking at this screen. I mean, I've got this a bit too high just so it can be seen on the camera here. I've got it a bit too high at the moment for my normal usage. Normally I'd pull it down here, a bit lower down, and look at it straight on, and that works perfectly. But for using it, while I'm using it like this, I'm looking at an angle at the screen, and it's not ideal. It's kind of like darker down this portion of the screen, and it gets lighter as it goes up that way. Might be opposite for on the camera. It looks like it's a lot lighter up here, and then graduating darker to down to this edge from the camera's perspective. But that's the only negative side, is the shallow viewing angle of these particular monitors. But again, it's not a deal breaker, because most people don't draw looking down the side of something. They draw head on, and as long as you do that, everything's fine. So we're going to create a new document. Just wait for this to pop up. Brush tool, that's working fine. Just drop the pen size down. We'll try drawing the same in here, and again, very smooth. Good response time. There's no lag at all. I mean, I've heard people say reports on other reviews that you use this particular tablet for a while and you start to get lag. I've not had that at all. I've not had any lag on this this particular model at all. So it's that's doing quite well. Actually, I've recently installed a new version of Photoshop on here, and it seems to be doing a lot better on the jittery side. There doesn't seem to be, let's say, any jitter on the lines at all. Let me just zoom in on this line. No, that's a really good line. As you can see, everything's really nice and smooth on these lines. didn't really choose the right line there. I should have really had it on the crisper line. Better. Just take that down and do it. That's a really good line on there. So just we'll just clear that, and because we're zoomed in there, we'll just try a few more lines. But that is performing actually a lot better than the previous version of Photoshop that I had. Nice pressure sensitivity. And obviously you've got your options to up your line, but it's within Photoshop themselves anyway, so that's just really nice. And it's just great just for general sketching. It's the work you can do in this is you can go really detailed, you can zoom in. Really fluid and nice to work with. Just really like the whole feel of this particular tablet. It doesn't feel cheap. It's it feels very nicely made. I have my 6-year-old who can use it. He can just pull it down, sit on the chair, you can sketch away. Loves to use this. I'm not frightened of him damaging it at all because it does feel very, very sturdy. It's just a really nice tablet to use. I mean, that's two of the major programs that I use: Mischief, Photoshop. You know, every other program kind of works more or less the same. Manga Studio is going to work more or less the same with this program. It does give very nice lines, and like I said, the new drivers they brought out seems to have ironed out any major problems. I said the only drawback on this particular monitor is just the viewing angle. But like I say, if you're using it head on, you're going to have absolutely no problem there at all. I love it. I think it's a great alternative to a Wacom tablet. I find Wacom's very expensive. I've had a few in the past that have also had glitches within drivers. And as I say, in this particular and this particular type of monitor, as long as it will do the job that you want it to do, as long as you you know what you can get out of it, which I do. I've used this, for a couple of months now, and it doesn't really have any negative sides and things that you can't do with a tablet. Whereas even a Wacom doesn't. You can do everything you want to do on a Wacom. There'll be a lot of you out there which will just be you'll want a Wacom just because of the name, because you can't get past the things like the viewing angle differences. You can't get past things like the pen having a battery in it and needs recharging. But in the end, is it worth the extra money you're paying? I particularly don't think it is. I mean, yeah, I could have gone out and I could have bought a Cintiq, for nearly £1,500. In the end, this is only a just short of £400 tablet in the UK, and it's not worth, for 4 times the amount of money for a tablet that's not going to perform that much better, to be honest. But this is just a really nice piece of kit. Works really well. The only other downside thinking about it now is, and which I probably should have touched on at the start, is the actual screen resolution of this particular monitor. It's 1440 by 900 pixels deep, so it goes past the lower end of the HD scale, so it's over 720p, but it's not quite up to the level of 1080, which does make a slight difference. It's not as crisp as I've seen on, say, the Wacom tablets. It's a lot better than I expected it to be. When I first plugged it in and looked at the images on the screen, it is a lot better than I really expected, and it's usable, at that resolution. Obviously not future-proof. Huion have mentioned that they are thinking of bringing out another tablet maybe towards the end of this year, maybe starting next, which will be a high-resolution screen. There are other tablets out there. I'm going to try and get hold of a review tablet of a Bosto HD22, which has full 1080, full 1080 resolution, so 1080 deep, and the 1920 wide resolution. I'm speaking to Bosto at the moment to see if they will supply me with a review copy of their tablet. And see how that performs in comparison to the Huion. Just going back a moment to the mainly using this in an environment. Obviously, I've got my little setup here. So just to push this back out of the way again. So I've got my setup here, which is my Dell monitor, and then my Huion, which is then attached behind here to a Ergotron arm. It's a Visa mount on the back, so the stand that comes with this, I can just swivel this around a bit more. The stand that comes with this is just unscrewed. Just unscrew 4 screws, the stand comes off, and this mounts onto here with these thumb screws, nice and sturdy. And I think this is the best way to work with one of these tablets, to be honest. I had it on my desk over the other side over there, and it was very tricky to use. It was too low down. I couldn't position it exactly where I wanted to. With this I can pull it wherever I like, tilt it back, pull it down to whatever level I need, and you've got a good working space there to use it. Still can see my other monitor, still got my keyboard underneath here, which I can just use, pull forward and use all my shortcut keys down here as well. So that's great. Another benefit is that you can, with some of the Wacom tablets you buy, they can come on stands where you can tilt and swivel them. This allows you to do that, so I can turn this around very easy. that shows you the viewing angle problem there that I was mentioning. As I turn it there, you can see as I turn it back, it goes a bit washed down. But at least I can turn this around to landscape or portrait very easy. So I highly recommend, if you are looking at purchasing one of these tablets or any tablet, whether it be a Huion, Wacom, Bosto, Unova, any of these type of tablets, they've usually got these mounts on the back, and I highly recommend getting an arm set up, so you can just push it out of the way when you don't need it, and then it's just a dual monitor setup on there for you. So that's basically it. I think, in conclusion, it is a really good monitor for the price. Its pros is, like I said, the pros of this buying one of these is the price. A lot cheaper than a Wacom. It will do nearly everything a Wacom will do. The only thing it doesn't have is tilt sensitivity, which, to be honest, I don't particularly use that often on a Wacom tablet. It's great value for money. It works in all the programs that I've tested it with, so great. Only cons, I would say, is the viewing angle side. So that you look at, if you're not straight on at it, it does wash out core wise. But if you run it in a dual setup, you can always pull across your image onto your other monitor. I mean, this is a better monitor. It's a Dell. It's got a very good viewing angle, and you can check your colours out on there and things. But if you're viewing straight on, you've nothing to worry about at all. And I'd say that's probably the only major drawback of this is the viewing angle side. Don't let having a battery pen put you off. Like I said before, I personally think this doesn't matter at all. Every now and again you might have to plug it into your computer for a couple of hours, recharge it, and then you're ready to go again for another good 2 to 3 months, maybe more. I mean, I've not really checked this out. As soon as this runs out, I'll post something below and just say, look, this is how long it actually lasts when you charge it. But in the end, this is my review of the Huion GT-190. Great tablet. I'm loving it, and hopefully we'll have some more reviews on this site of some other graphics tablets in the future. So thank you for watching this with the Tested by Pixel Movers. Thank you.